This Good Morning Northwest morning spread is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is 6:53. Time to get you ready to take on your Monday in the work week with the morning sprint.
A drone strike killed 3 U.S. service members in Jordan near the Syrian border. Sydney Charles has those details.
Elson Martinez in studio sharing tips to help you stretch your dollar when buying groceries.
But first, let's get over to Mark with some record high temperatures in the forecast for today.
And a very mild start to the day as we get into those very warm temperatures. 38 currently in Spokane, 40 into Ritzville. Lewiston starting the day at 45 degrees. Our forecast radar, we're going to remain clear. Things look great after this low cloud deck and this fog burns off. We're going to see a little energy coming in for our area. That's going to be Tuesday afternoon. We look at our forecast for the day. Mostly sunny, temperatures into the mid-50s throughout much of the afternoon. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be very mild overnight, and then we're going to cool a touch tomorrow. We'll have more on that coming up.
Fire burned a small metal shop in Stevens County, destroying the building and everything inside. The Stevens County Fire District got that fire under control yesterday morning, but not before the shop in Suncrest was decimated. The fire district says improper heating appears to be what caused that fire.
A 24-year-old Kettle Falls man faces multiple sex crimes, including child molestation. The Missing and Exploited Children's Task Force alerted the Stevens County Sheriff's Office about a child pornography investigation and believed the suspect, Jacob Carnes, was in Kettle Falls. Now, Wednesday, police executed multiple search warrants, seizing several electronic devices containing thousands of images of child pornography. The task force developed probable cause that Carnes victimized at least one child. It's charging him with multiple felonies, including child molestation and sexual exploitation of a child. He likely faces federal charges as well. The judge set his bail at $250,000.
This morning, U.S. officials are outraged over an attack in Jordan that killed 3 American troops and injured several others. This marks the first time U.S. troops in the Middle East have been killed by Iranian-backed militants since the Israel-Hamas war began in October. Now, the White House says the militants launched an explosive drone into a U.S. base near the Syrian border. Officials say 3 American troops were killed and at least 34 others were injured. 8 troops had to be evacuated for a higher level of care. The Pentagon says a few of the injuries include possible traumatic brain injuries. How the U.S. is responding is coming up next on Good Morning America.
Food insecurity is on the rise throughout the country. Today, we're checking in on a local level. Eric Williams with Second Harvest says since COVID, they've seen a noticeable increase in the amount of families that need extra help beating hunger. In the last 2 years, Second Harvest has given out an average of 35 million pounds of food a year. That's at least 17 semi-trucks filled with fresh food every week. Second Harvest staff says that in the last few years, they've seen more working people seeking help at their food pantry than ever before. This week, I'll be speaking with experts to share how you can save money at the store, make the most of your groceries, and connect with resources that could help your family. Tune in to Good Morning Northwest all week as we share tips to fight the food crunch.
Attending Washington State University, well, expect to pay a little more next year. The WSU Board of Regents approved a 3% rise in tuition on Friday. A full-time undergrad can expect to see an increase of a little more than $300 starting this fall. The increase will not be affecting students in the pharmacy, veterinary, or nursing programs.
The February special election just around the corner. At least 10 school districts in Spokane County gathered downtown over the weekend, rallying for the bonds and levies on the ballot this year. One parent says the funding is vital for extracurriculars, for things like sports and theater. Some of the bonds will go toward other things like repairing or replacing old buildings. For more information, check out our full voter's guide on KXLY.com/forthepeople.
A gallon of gas is getting cheaper in the U.S. The average price right now is $3.10, a big decrease from the all-time peak of $4.67 in the fall of 2022. Washington State still has some of the highest priced gas in the nation, but Spokane is significantly lower at $3.52 a gallon. Kootenai County is at $3.15.
Former President Donald Trump has to come up with $83 million. A judge ordered him to pay writer E. Jean Carroll that money for defaming her. The verdict comes after a heated day in court last week. At one point, Trump stood up, walked out during closing statements. Coming up on GMA, E. Jean Carroll will be in Times Square sitting down with George Stephanopoulos for a morning interview. A final check of weather coming up next.